From the beginning, it was clear that Scantron wanted me isolated. I mean, look at what they do when they just send people to participate instead of like, I send people messages like whoever I want to work with and whoever I need. So if they monitoring me, they bugging me, they watching me, they doing all this stuff, they rather that have that connection. There's no connection. They get people. And they intersect any person that I would need to do whatever I need to do. Like if I do a blueprint, right? A person that does the blueprint of anything has everything already structured the way it is. Because if you do it apart, without the blueprint, it doesn't exist. With the blueprint, it exists to be built. You have the foundation to be built. So they know that I practice this. I get policies, I do foundations, I do formulas. Then to the general people, they'll manipulate it. Oh no, that's nothing. That's just like a little, like he don't really have anything. So he's just trying to like reach people to get them to do whatever, but he's not. And then a lot of people like if you will ask somebody that does formula, blueprints, and all these things, then they're going to tell you, that's not the case. This is how they build. You're going to say a creator, a designer. Oh, no, that's nothing. But without the blueprint, then it doesn't exist. You can't make it. The blueprint is already made. It's already done. I don't need to do anything extra unless I'm the one developing it in the form of putting it into let's say a building, making it into an object. So if I do a lot of different things, I probably most likely could do that. I don't have the equipment, the factory, and I don't need it. If I am the developer, I'm the creator. I create, I'm the artist, I'm the designer, I make blueprints, I make formulas. And this is what they can't comprehend with, because then they know my work is already done. So to isolate me and so people to play around like it's a game. They lazy, they ain't doing anything but getting people. And it never reaches where, what I need. And that's the whole point. That's the warfare that they play on me and they prey on me so I wouldn't be able to establish. When they first saw that I was trying to be with individual and make it happen for five and make it happen for 5 individuals before my son came along and it was a 6. It was, if I moved to cater to it, and I bought a minivan. Of course, I went to the dealership. It was a lemon, and even with the lemon, they go to the courts. If it was going to the courts, nobody was trying to get me mines back. But they wasn't trying to get me. The whole point of me being with more people and together, there already was that. I mean, I already had to part how I told you what I had to do when I had to leave certain places. It's not like I wanted to be a certain way, but I had other individuals in my life, and their whole practice was to separate me from that and then keep me like that. And then you have everybody participating like that. And I said what I said, but the people that were around, they don't, when I said, man, everybody's clear in this side, everybody here, because this is like pandemic, and this is what I saw that I was preparing and God was holding me down for. And Scantron helps pandemics, crisis, isolation, no education. They take you away from the truth and the facts, and they don't have anything to make it better. They have everything to keep it worse or make it worse. So you got to pay attention. You can't be like, well, Scantron is an authority. They're doing it. Like, you don't question. You have to. That's what you gotta face. But you with them and participating with them, like this is a game. It's a warfare. They have technical warfare. They play and they prey on people. This is military tactics. This is what they do. So it's like independent contractors. You don't know. A lot of people don't know how the war goes and a lot of operation goes. As independent contractors, it could be a greedy contractor that wants something from a country, and they contract the army, and the army don't really know the people fighting. They don't investigate. They don't see what's really going on, and it could be to take advantage of the country, and they got the force to do it, and the contract of the Secret Service and the military to do it. So there ain't nothing different from that being played here with me. And they need to play it with me because I'm a person that they wish that I was in the military. They wish I went through that path. And not only that, they isolated me to be able to see if they always wanted to be like that. No, they messed up the minivan. They gave me a messed up one, so I wouldn't be able to, cater to that, to what I wanted to have in my life. I was ready. I was ready for that, and so the whole thing with the Scantron and the authorities, they wanted to get me to the point where I'll snap. I'll either do something that I'll end up, in prison for like a long time, because a warfare is my life or theirs. If I had to take a life to defend it, you know what I'm saying? Like, they want to put me through all this thing to then intercept me. Oh, you don't want to be in here for forever. Like, I poked on it that well. So then they'll be like, I'll take you out of here. Like, they'll go in the jail, or they even fixed certain things. Like, I'll go to a place where they screen people for backgrounds, and they mistakenly they put me in a car and ready to take me to jail and stuff like that. But they saw from that point that I wasn't, even if you do it like that, I would have been in jail, and I would have not followed through. They would have tried to intercept me. I would have not followed through. Now, if they would have seen that my like the way I carry myself was like a missionary killer, and it didn't matter about anybody and everybody, they would have then want to do that at any time. But they wanted to get me to the point where I could snap, where I could get to that point so they could intercept me and be like, come work for us. Now you in Secret Service, you in a military thing. Now use all that stuff, do it to us, because we running this thing over here. They lazy. They know that none of the Secret Service, none of the military hold the energy to hold down a whole country, education, mentally, physically, economically, with all the formulas and all the blueprints. I could touch into anything, because I've been since a child. I've been looking at everything and how it works. Then when I'm older enough to know what business really is, then I could make business and make it better. And they know that. And making it better ruins the capital of all the stuff that's out of nature. And this is, and then it changes the way people do security, because I have security, I have protection, I have everything God put in my will to do formulas for and produce for. They know that they can't even, stop me with this, stop me with, they can't do it. They can't do it because I would just continue. God don't play with life. I'm not a scantron that has to be hiding and isolating, manipulating what really is happening. And a lot of people know, like, okay, they put it together, but they don't really go into it, and they don't do anything for me. You know? So I pay attention to God. I don't pay attention to scantron. I don't do things because you do it. If I have to defend myself at the points, I do it, but it's just to defend myself. You feel me? So when I started seeing that, then they'll manipulate a lot of the stuff. Like if I do things that are like supposed to be like on God, they start using the religion in the churches. Like, well, they start having monks and stuff like that. They know what type of energy, you know what I mean? I'm like, if your monks know what's going on and the churches know what's going on, and I'm like in this predicament and everybody just participating, what makes you think that in the church is not going to be the same? Or God doesn't work that way where, oh, you have to be in the church, you have to practice this in order for me to protect you and help you. That's a manipulation in itself. I could look at every religious holy book, and I could show you that it doesn't go like that. There's people that have been in different warfare matters that they have to be years secluded, hiding, and from war, and they can't even practice. They can't come out and pray. They can't do all their religious practices. Does that mean that God has abandoned them? What they do, they just in their own time, they pray, they meditate. I do that. And this is a warfare I'm living through. So I do that. Even though I've been before that, I could see that God has me no matter what. It's not based on me being in a church. So I have to be under a building and under somebody's practices of that building to be with God. It doesn't work like that. You're already with God. You're born like that. God is not going to abandon me and because I'm not going to church on Sunday. God is not going to abandon me because I'm going through the warfare and you want to sing holy grail with me in church, or I have to be in a group with you. If you with God, you will protect me even if I don't go out there, even if I don't join you. That's how that works. So when I speak on it, then they're like, damn, we can't even go through the religion and manipulate it like this. They try to go anywhere they can to manipulate it, and it always backfires because they just get people. And then God just gives me all the knowledge that I don't have to look at what I'm gonna do with or say, so they can manipulate it before I say it. They do that a lot when they see that when I am doing things where I'm just trying to like go from one step to the next. How do I do this? I want to do this. Let me go do this. They're already there. But when there's a lot of stuff, like a lot of things where God just puts it with me and I don't have to like study, I don't have to, then they can't do nothing before I do it. So all these ways of practice. Well, I'm an independent contractor for God. This works for anything that has to do with any religion. It doesn't put me in or out. It puts me one with God in anything practiced with religion. As an independent contractor for God. Straight up. I follow, I receive the message, and I deliver. I produce, I create, and I make it happen. Whether you are participating with Scantron and not going with it, that's another thing. And you participate in Scantron, you'll get karma. God always put it in my way. I was trying to see if I could get away from a lot of these practices, because I just saw that I was seeing that I'm like, Scantron has a way that they're gonna be around my life for this time, and I'm like, I don't really need to be on that. God always put it to me that, so you're doing it for me, not for them, and we're gonna move that way no matter what. Karma has its way, and no rock is gonna be left unturned at the end of the day. He assured me that, because I was ready to. I was trying to say, God, I'm not worthy. No, because I started seeing. I wasn't feeling it the way I was seeing it. So I was like, God, what is this? I don't see me. I see me getting caught up in this. I see me a lot of pain and suffering type stuff, but I don't feel the pain. And he assured me you'll feel it at I would feel it at the time that it's happening. Although it's not for me to focus it's something that that it won't have its justice, it won't have its karma, So just focus on me, right? And whatever you need to protect yourself by law, you do. So I speak on this by law. I don't speak on it because I'm going back and forth because I need to be. I'm not the one I'm not the one in the war tactic against anybody. So, and then the way I needed to lose, for me to lose my ways and frequencies and stuff, I would have to then do the opposite of what I'm doing. And I don't even have the heart to just be all right, I'm just going to catch anybody and all these scantrums and this is it. I don't. And even I was trying to tell God, I'm not worthy. I start making sounds of the devil, like I'm not with you, type stuff. I am not worthy. I am with somebody. I started, I took 2 minutes and then I realized that, okay, I have to, that doesn't really exist. It's either you do bad things and people do bad things and God is there and there's karma. There ain't no higher force. But yeah, there is people that join together and it becomes, that's what it looks like, and then they use an image for the devil and stuff like that. But God is above anything that could God will put it over anything, and I see that there's no energy in that, and there's all everything that life takes away from you. So I'm going that path. Everything is going to be taken away, and my heart is to secure life, to bring life, to produce. So if there's nothing wrong with what God is telling me, you know what I mean? It's bringing forth. What they doing, that's what they do. That's what they have to pay for. Whether it seems like they're getting away with it and they don't matter, that's not the case. When and where it will happen that they get their day, that's their day. Everybody has a deadline. And I have to be satisfied with that. I never look back. It's just because I poked on it a little, and I'm like, oh no, I don't feel like my life should be taken for that for 20 years. I'm on board. I just can't. I'm never aboard. I gave life. I bring life. I put more out there. While Scantron doesn't produce, they hold you down mentally, physically, economically, and socially against your own will. I'm nothing like that. I will never be. It's not part of my nature. Or their intentions would never let me be with a family or group. The whole point was to isolate me and get me into how they wanted me to operate with them. And when it came to like other individuals, probably some individuals were like too young to come in, but if they weighed into, is a good time to introduce them and to bring them in to practice the scantron. That started happening like during the pandemic, 2000. Especially when they saw that God was giving me like all the practices, all the blueprints. When everybody else was like on a standstill, I was moving. I was producing things for all causes, all humanitarian. I had One Man, One God, the corporation, nonprofit. I had the callings with the music, the freestyles, Frostbite. I had like everything that was coming in. They saw it already that they had a certain way that they wanted to move with the pandemic, superficial, and then they saw that there's something that I'm producing that it's all for that nature, to keep us better, to prevent things from happening, to educate, to be able to teach people to create things, to help each other, to keep us a whole, to secure us. When they saw this was kicking in, that's when we can't even like get around this, because nobody is practicing and nobody's getting these blueprints, not even close, and nobody before or after to even like say, hey, I was in this before. Well, why you never really hit something really creative and to the point where it's not superficial? It's everything that everybody else is doing. So they already knew that they can't reach anybody. They had to come straight to me for my practices, for my brand. So they don't look at me like I'm the one. They look at me like they over me, and all the participants is to keep me isolated, keep me down mentally, physically, economically, and socially. Even if that had to come in and intersect through the personal people in my life. This is what they're gonna do. This is what be done.